Hi guys, a cool little trick that I'm doing now on the GT-1000. This will apply both to the core as well as the GT-1000 bigger model. I'm using a divider to split up my master into two impulses out, and the left and right jack would be the left and right jack on the output. But the way to do that is you have to click here and you got to turn that stereo link off. And then what it does is it gives you two impulses. Then put them in a divider, put your divider on dual, make sure none of this is on, and make sure your mixer is set at 100. Okay, so this is a Freeman cabinet with vintage 30s as well as greenbacks. This is my favorite impulse response pack from ML that I keep going back to it. This is what it sounds like with a greenback on the one side and a vintage 30 on the right side. Okay, and now we're going to change that to vintage 30s on both sides, just to hear the difference. It's subtle, but it's nice. And now we're going to put greenbacks on both sides. And this is a 7B microphone, by the way. And now if I put one on each side, I'm going to do that mid-playing. I like that because you get the warmth of the greenback, but you get the clarity of the vintage 30. Highly recommend that cabinet pack. All right, now let's go to my overdrive sound, see what I'm doing here. Okay, in this one, I've got a Freeman vintage 30 Royer mic 121 on the one side, and I've got the greenback 121. I know that impulse response name. That's my Royer 121 on a greenback closest to the greenback as possible. So let's take a listen to this. All right, so let's put just greenback on both sides. And now let's put just vintage 30 on both sides. Now that vintage 30, I remember when I played live, it was a bit harsh for stage. So then when you mix them together, and I'm going to do it again, where I'm going to start playing and then I'll turn it on. Alright, so that's that. And now the big channel, which is this one, I put a Marshall in. Because I'm trying to get a more authentic distortion sound. So I've got the greenback, and then I've got a Marshall pre-roller something or other. I can't remember exactly what speaker that is, but let's do just the greenback on the Freeman. Now that's very nice for me, but the problem is the woof when you're on stage gets a bit much. So I've added a Marshall marked close, E, meaning it's close to the cone as Miku wanted it in his cab packs, and it sounds like this. Pretty cool, and that's what I like about this new technique. It's subtle, but it definitely gives you a little bit of a sparkle on what could be mixed to be a bit too woofy and a bit too dark on stage. It gives you a little bit more brightness in your tone. All right, cheers.